knows what you should be doing, even though they don't know your life, your stories, your desires, your fears, your family, your obligations. I'm hoping this podcast gives you the opportunity to think about what you want, to listen to your still small voice. Welcome back. At the time of this recording, it is the second to last weekend in July, and depending on where you live and what is happening around you, you could actually notice that summer might be headed out, and it's not as lush and green as it used to be. This is the time of year where I live, where I start seeing the greens aren't as green, and it just seems duller, and it just seems like maybe this brightness of summer just can't sustain itself any longer, and it's time to take a break. Now, granted, we're not anywhere close to fall yet. We've still got at least 2 months, if not more, at least where I am, to get to it. But you can just tell that there's a different quality to summer. There's a change in the air, so to speak. At the same time, depending on where you live, or it doesn't actually matter where you live anymore, the back to school sales have started and the marketing has started. And depending on where you are, either you're thinking about heading back to school, or the family's thinking about heading back to school, or maybe you've only got a couple weeks left, or if you're like someone I know, school starts in a week, which sounds baffling crazy to me. And I'm sorry to all of you who have to go back at the end of July. That just sounds insane on so many levels, but that's a whole other podcast for another time. So with that in mind, I actually ended up this weekend getting a day to myself, which is not that rare, as I am quite a solitary person, but just the timing of trips and stuff, I ended up kind of without even realizing getting a day of nothing, which was kind of good that I didn't have a warning, so I couldn't super plan it and try to optimize my day, as I do tend to do those things. And it is that time of year to try to be out and about and optimize those things. At the same time, I don't feel super guilty for not being outside. It's not too bad where I am for air quality, but I know of millions of people who are being challenged by it. And it is, I think, a little tougher in the summer when you want to go outside, or it feels like you should be happy and bright, and you are inside trying to pretend it's winter even though it's not, and feeling contrary to that. But in any case, I had a kind of unscheduled day where I had some things I wanted to do, but started the day, without getting up and rushing to do something, which I think is the first time I've done in a very long time. And I've just been puttering is my favorite word to use. I just love kind of going from thing to thing and cleaning things. And I mean, I cleaned out the refrigerator, which might sound crazy to some people, but I know when it's a day where I feel like I can clean out the refrigerator. I mean, by clean out, I mean like take out the drawers, wash the rags that I have that cushion the produce, change the batteries in my candles, which if I had said that line 20 years ago, I would have looked at myself like I'm crazy, but changed the batteries in my battery operated candles and just kind of did some of that. Not cleaning. I don't ever like to call it cleaning because it doesn't feel like cleaning to me. It just feels like writing my space and getting it more sorted. At the same time, I used to do this too, and I haven't in a while, going through some old writings and old journals and just kind of cleaning up my own personal stuff of like, do I want to have all this writing sitting here? Do I want to have these things? And that has brought me to a whole other thought of like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like theoretically with whole life. I've got this podcast, I've got the 2 other blogs, I do have a full-time job. So it's like, what am I doing and what is the goal? So inadvertently this weekend, I got to take a bit of a pause. I haven't resolved anything, but it has been quite a nice pause to just spend the day puttering around, eating ice cream while listening to an audiobook, doing the random laundry of like, the dish towels and sometimes the other things that always look good. And then you're like, oh, maybe I don't remember the last time I washed it. Maybe it should have been washed like more than 4, not let it sit for 5 years, that sort of thing. So for this week, as it is the end of July, and I think in some cases it does feel like a turn in season. And I find a turn in season usually makes you kind of reset and resort in whatever way that feels possible. So I'm hoping for you, for this week, you get some form of pause, whatever that is for you. Doesn't have to be a official summer pause, and probably for many of you it might not be able to be for whatever reasons life throws at us. So I'm hoping for you for this week that it will be a reset and a relax. And I cannot believe to say that this is episode 10, and I think I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more. 19. The summer is, in theory, depending upon where you are, 20 weeks long. That is almost half of a year. That seems crazy. No wonder summer kind of makes me crazy. It's a very long time, and it doesn't seem to shift, even though it does shift. Like I said, we're in the shift, but hopefully you will understand what I mean. So thank you for joining me this week. I'll be back next week with episode number 11 for 9 episodes to go in this summer series. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining me today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm so glad. If you didn't, that's great too. Thanks for giving it a try. You can do all the things: subscribe, rate, review, emoji it up if you feel so called. I appreciate any feedback you have. Please reach out to me on Facebook at The Still Small Voice Whisperer.